All right. Have you ever heard a story about an artist who gets handed a challenge that seems, well, completely impossible? That's exactly what we're diving into today. A story about an artist who took a super dull, cramped little room and turned it into an epic journey through space and time. And the best part? We're going to learn this secret creative technique they came up with to pull it all off.
Okay, so right out of the gate, you know this story is going to be different. I mean, can you imagine being so sure of your vision that you tell the client, nope, not telling you the price, and you don't get to see it until I'm finished? That's exactly what this artist did. They knew this project could be something special, not just another decoration. So they demanded total creative freedom. That's a huge, bold move, and it totally set the stage for something legendary.
So what exactly was this impossible challenge? Well, it's a classic problem. You've got this massive, universe-sized idea, but you're stuck in a tiny, tiny space. The mission was to transform a painfully boring beige box of a room into a genuine cosmic epic. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny.
Okay, so let me paint you a picture of what the artist was up against. The canvas was this cramped, windowless conference room, just 15 feet by 4 feet. It was covered in this warm beige paneling with these boring, monotonous square patterns. And the theme they had to bring to life in this little closet? Convergence. This huge idea about how everything in the universe comes together. Seriously, how do you fit the entire universe into a closet?
So what was the first move? Did they just grab a pencil and start sketching? Nope. Instead, they went on a 2-month-long quest for knowledge. We're talking a deep dive into physics, astronomy, ancient myths, all of it. And this, right here, is a huge tip for any of you creators out there. The deeper you go with your research, the bigger and bolder your ideas can become. This research phase is what fueled their imagination to dream up a 30-foot-long visual epic telling the entire story of humanity's journey.
So, the answer to this epic problem? A 6-panel masterpiece. It's basically a story told in 6 parts, a visual journey of how we humans figured out our world. Let's break it down panel by panel.
Okay, so the story kicks off way back in a time of mystery, a time of, well, fear. The first chapter is called Obscurity, and it represents those early days of humanity, when the world just felt like a big, scary, and totally unknown place.
To bring this era to life, the artist used some really powerful symbols. We see a flat Earth, which is what many people believed in back then, and this giant serpent about to swallow an eclipsed sun. And this isn't just some cool, scary drawing, right? It's a symbol of a time when everything was explained through myths and stories, not science.
Okay, so from this world of myth and monsters, the story suddenly takes this giant leap forward. The second panel captures one of the single most important moments in human history, a moment that really changed everything.
And this image, wow, it just perfectly captures that turning point, a single footprint on the moon. The artist was actually inspired by the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, and this one image just perfectly symbolizes humanity's huge jump from superstition to real scientific progress. It's such a great reminder that we're all capable of making those giant leaps.
All right, and panel number 3, this whole idea of convergence, of things coming together, really starts to click. This is where we see completely different worlds of thought start to weave together.
I mean, check this out. It's just a half-bitten apple, right? But it's doing like 3 jobs at once. First, it's the apple from the story of Eve and the Tree of Knowledge. Second, it's the apple that supposedly fell on Isaac Newton's head and gave him the idea for gravity. And third, yep, it's the logo for Apple computers. In one single image, the artist connected ancient myth, classic science, and modern tech. This is the perfect example of the technique the artist called superstringing.
And get this, the artist didn't stop there. They went on to call Eve the first scientist because she made the choice to go after knowledge. And apparently, when this was revealed, people loved it. It's this powerful idea that our drive to understand the world has been part of us from the very, very beginning.
Okay, so we've got gravity, which we can kind of wrap our heads around. But now, we're jumping into something way more mind-bending. Panel 4 takes on Einstein's theory of relativity, an idea that totally flipped our understanding of reality on its head.
I mean, seriously, how do you even paint relativity? It's such a wild concept. The artist went with this incredibly powerful and dramatic image, a nuclear explosion, literally ripping a hole in the fabric of space-time. And notice all the sharp, angular lines? That was on purpose. It was a way to fight back against those boring square patterns in the room and create a real feeling of energy. It's a great lesson in how you can use your art to actively change the vibe of a space.
So we've been out in the cosmos, right? Exploring the vastness of space and time. Well, for panel 5, the artist yanks us in the complete opposite direction, into the tiny, microscopic universe inside us.
This is so cool. The artist plays this little trick on your eyes here. At first glance, you might see an ancient symbol of two snakes wrapping around each other. But then you realize, wait a second, that's the double helix structure of DNA. What looks like some mystical icon is actually the trail that particles leave behind in a particle accelerator. It really makes you wonder, are science and myth really all that different?
And now we get to the final panel. And this one is by far the most ambitious. It's an attempt to paint something that might actually be impossible to even imagine, the future of physics.
You gotta understand, this isn't a painting of a thing you can see. It's a painting about an idea. The artist is trying to visualize something called six-dimensional space, with all these tiny, vibrating superstrings that some physicists think are the building blocks of everything. It represents the endless, unknown, and exciting future of human discovery.
Okay, so that's the big, epic story told across 6 panels. But wait, there's more. The artist snuck in this secret layer, like a hidden message, a clever little psychological trick designed to connect directly with the people who would actually be using this room every single day.
So how'd they do it? It was brilliant. The artist took the famous red, green, blue, and yellow from the Microsoft logo and subtly wove those exact colors into the artwork, especially in those flowing ribbons in the final panel. Now, for the IT professionals at this company, seeing those colors would trigger something in their subconscious. It sent them a message without using any words. Hey, your daily work, all the skills you've built using this software, that's part of this grand cosmic journey of knowledge too.
So after months and months of working in secret, the big day finally came. The art was about to be unveiled, and its impact was about so much more than just looking pretty on a wall.
And the effect? It was a total transformation. That tiny, windowless room suddenly felt huge, like it was open to the cosmos. All the deep space blue colors helped cool down those stuffy beige walls. But most importantly, the employees, they felt seen. They saw their own story in this incredible saga of science. It's the ultimate proof that art doesn't just decorate a room. It completely changes how you feel when you're in it.
Okay, so this awesome technique we've been talking about, it has a name. Let's officially define it. Superstringing. It's a creative method where you take ideas that seem totally unrelated, like, say, an ancient myth, a physics theory, and a computer logo, and you weave them together to tell one single, powerful story. It's all about finding those hidden threads that connect everything.
So here's the takeaway for all of you. The next time you're staring at a blank canvas, an empty page, or any kind of creative project, remember this story. Don't just think about what you're making, think about the story you could be telling. So the big question is, what unexpected ideas from history, science, pop culture, your own life, what could you superstring together to create something that nobody has ever seen before? So go on, get out there and create something absolutely incredible.